My name is Wu Fang from the School of Educational Studies of University Science Malaysia. I'm very glad to attend this conference. Today, the topic of my presentation is the problems and challenges facing in the international education in China. Under the background of globalization, the cultivation of international talents has received increasing attention, and the demand for international talents have also increased. The exchanges and cooperation in higher education are frequent in various countries. Therefore, the international education has become a hot issue in current education development. At present, as China continues to open up to the overseas countries, on the one hand, it continuously expands the skill of foreign students to study in China and improve the quality of learning. And on the other hand, it actively encourages Chinese students to go to other countries to experience the local culture and learn the advanced science and technology, and become an international talent with strong academic skills and familiarity with international rules. At present, international education represented by two-way study abroad is also facing many problems and challenges. The first one is the insufficient foreign language ability. Foreign language ability is the first obstacle encountered in cross-cultural communication, and it is also a necessary tool to enhance self-competitiveness in an international environment. Even if most international students coming to China pass the Chinese proficiency test and reach the entrance qualifications, their Chinese proficiency is still difficult to meet the listening, comprehension, and expression of classroom teaching. However, the foreign students who come to China in the English teaching classes are faced with the difficulty of communication in Chinese in daily life. The communicative language learned in the basic Chinese courses cannot fully meet their communication needs of international students. For Chinese students, although they have learned English since childhood, they mostly learned grammar and vocabulary to meet the needs of examinations, but their listening and speaking abilities are not well trained. When studying abroad, they often don't know how to express their thoughts smoothly in English, or they can only talk about some simple topics and cannot conduct in-depth exchanges and dialogues. The second one is the weak cross-cultural communication skills. Due to the differences in language and culture, when encountering problems, international students are more inclined to seek help and support from their friends of the same country, and are less willing to seek help from students from other countries. As a consequence, it is difficult for them to understand and think about problems from a new perspective and truly integrate into a new environment. Therefore, culture shock will appear in a foreign country, which will affect the life and studies of the student. Although they also took Chinese classes and Chinese culture classes, their adaptability for cross-cultural communication was limited. The same problem is encountered when the Chinese students study abroad. The third one is the far-reaching influence of indigenous thinking, affected by the educational patterns from an early age. Chinese students have very deep stereotypes and tend to be less motivated in the classroom. For them, study abroad will be very troublesome. On the contrary, the international students in China are more flexible in thinking and focus on practice. But in Chinese classroom, the teachers emphasize more theories than practice. The thinking of international students in China is influenced by their local education in their home country. With the traditional Chinese style teaching, they may feel uncomfortable. The fourth one is the weak practical ability and few practical opportunities. The education model in China is mostly the teacher speak and the students listen and remember, different from the freestyle of overseas classroom teaching model. It is easy to be constrained in thinking. The proportion of practical courses in the total courses is relatively lower. It is easy to lead to the consequences that most students have poor self-learning ability and weak practical ability. By contrast, the international students in China have advantages in self-learning ability and practical ability, but they have few practical opportunities to choose during their education in China. Okay, the fifth one is due to the impact of coronavirus-19 epidemic and policy restrictions on entry, visas, and flights of various countries or regions, the students' plan of study abroad have been greatly affected. Many schools carry out the online teaching and research activities. Although they can also learn knowledge, there are few opportunities for students to get insight of the society and culture of the destination country by themselves. Besides, the countries will have not enough opportunities to communicate with the supervisors on the questions during their study, which is also the great challenge for students to successfully complete their study. In addition, online teaching sessions are limited by time lag and network, and the teaching effect cannot be guaranteed in quality and quantity. Okay, in short, for international education, whether it is Chinese students studying abroad or the students coming to China to study, they should focus on solving their cross-cultural communication problems. They should enhance their cross-cultural adaptability, strengthen practical ability, such as encouraging students to participate in academic forums, social practices, seminars, innovation competitions, and better coordinate professional knowledge, language, and culture. And in addition, they should also explore the relationship between individual innovation ability and innovation consciousness, and focus on the cultivation of scientific research and practical ability. The purpose of the international education is to guide the students by cross-cultural exchanges ability and to improve the overall academic quality, so as to improve the quality of international talent cultivation. Okay, this is my presentation. Thank you very much.